Take it away.
Okay, we've just come down. This is the first part of the boat we come into, so we're essentially pretty well midships. You've got the bunks here where everyone will sleep. They'll sleep on the windward side of the boat all the time, so if the boat's tacking, people have to tack as well from bunk to bunk. Here you have the water bottles, the AIS safety gear essentially for if anyone goes over the side, and just water bottles for drinking and keeping hydrated. Up here we have some instruments which they're rarely needed instruments. We have a defibrillator, hopefully never needed, and the engine instruments and a radar, again not commonly used.
This is the same on all the boats, Napper, is it?
Everything's exactly the same. They're a one design class and they're ruthless about the one design, so everything is exactly the same. There's actually very little you can do to customise them.
I mean, what about these pockets on the wallet? They are absolutely all the same, right down to these details.
Absolutely, these are all made by the same people for every boat. Some things are optional, you buy them, but if you buy them from the boatyard so that they are all identical.
Right.
Same weight, same spec, same design, even down to pad eyes like this, lashing pad eyes. All of these are essentially made by the same people, and every boat has the same.
And this is your galley here.
This is the galley. Nothing luxurious as you imagine, but we do have fresh water, which is made on board with a water maker, so we don't have to carry lots of plastic bottles. And a kettle, that's essentially the only cooking implement we have, kettle, to rehydrate the freeze-dried food and to make tea and coffee and hot chocolate, which still you need, even if you're ocean racing, you need that on a night watch.
Right, and what do we get up forward?
Further forward, there's very little up here.
Hang on.
We have a storm jib tied down there, never been used, only to show the Volvo that we have it, and a spare rudder, and then you can see the signatures. These are actually from the last round the world. All these signatures are people that have come and had it around, from school children to family friends and just interested people. And then we have a toilet. I don't think anyone's used it, but it is there, and every boat has one.
Nobody's ever used it?
I doubt. Other than that, it's a hollow space here. There is a forward tank you can fill with water here for ballast if the conditions dictate, but that's rarely used. It's normally the side-to-side ballast.
Okay, cool. Maybe have a look further aft?
Yeah, aft there's lots going on. Back below the bunks here we have spare diesel. This is on both sides, and again every boat has a prescribed amount of diesel, so they're all exactly the same. That's considered a piece of safety kit, the spare diesel, so everyone has to have it. Survival suits, again everyone has an allocated amount of survival suits, all exactly the same. Survival toolkits, we have our own say about what toolkit we use, how many tools we bring, but life jackets, all of the safety gear again is pre-prescribed in the rules and we can't. More survival suits. Here we have the spare rigging. This will be spare halyards, spare lock strops and spare sheets, along with some lashings and a few essential dog bones for some of the blocks, the deck blocks we have for the code zeros and spinnakers. Sail repair bag, nothing too crafty here, just a small bag for essential maintenance and repairs. More rigging gear in here. This is just rope, loops, dog bones, spare winch handles in case they lose them. Grab bag. As with any ocean going vessel really, you've got to have your safety gear, the grab bag, all the things you take if you jump into the life raft. Boat building, again running repairs to the boat, but there's very little in there really that we can deal with, and anything major is done by the boatyard, by Volvo and the team when you get back to the dock. Hydraulic spares, engine spares, so the essentials again can be done if you're having any failures en route, but once again servicing and the bulk of it is done on land with Volvo. And here we go, the OBR as they call him, the onboard reporter, sits here. I'll have a computer set up where my torch is shining now.
That's not a prime position, is
It's
it?
not comfy, see if you can look at the space that they get.
Yeah. So how, I'm trying to work out how high this would, oh not,
Yeah,
that's a good demonstration.
I'm not tall. They have a fan to keep them cool, and this machine here, they can choose any of the camera angles from the spreaders to on the bow, on the back of the boat, in the cockpit, and they are allowed to stream and send a certain amount of media from the boat to shore, but they can't receive anything. No inbound communications to the boat at all, to ensure that no one's getting any sneaky information about weather routing.
This is a spectacularly uncomfortable position, I guess, at sea.
It is, and he has to physically tack himself as well, all of his gear from this side to the other side. When the boat tacks, you can see he's got a seat here, and there is a little bit of legroom for him, but yeah, not comfy. And very similar for the navigator. If we go a bit further forward, this next seat forward. So again,
well, this looks a bit more comfortable.
We'll sit down. A bit bigger, so that you can have two people sat side by side, captain and navigator perhaps, to discuss tactics and where they're going. Not much here to see now, because it's all been taken off, but they have the navigational computers, the wind instruments, and again a fan for the hot climates, and all of their electronics for the navigation gear back here. And again, uncomfy position, but this is where the navigator spends a lot of their time. These bits you can see around us, these are the connectors for all of the grinders we're looking at upstairs. When they connect to one winch or another winch, these are how they're all connected. You can see the gear here, this was the central. And that's really, other than some electronics and some steering gear, that's about it down below. Very simple, very empty, very uncomfy.